If you feel disconnected from yourself despite being successful, if you're exhausted even though you're achieving everything that you thought you wanted, or if you look in the mirror and barely recognize the woman staring back at you, well, you're probably experiencing wounded feminine energy. And today I'm going to share 8 powerful habits that will help you reconnect with your feminine essence and get you start feeling like yourself again. Hi, I'm Amanda. I am a busy full-time working mom and business owner, and I teach women just like you how to thrive in your feminine energy despite all the masculine demands in your life. And I'm sharing these habits with you today because I've been exactly where you are. I spent years feeling disconnected from myself, operating constantly in my wounded masculine energy, wondering why I felt so empty despite all of my achievements in life. And I know what it's like to feel like you've lost touch with who you really are. And I also know what it feels like on the other side, when you've healed your wounded feminine energy and you're living in alignment with your true natural nature. So today I'm sharing 8 of the habits that transformed my life. Honestly, I don't say that lightly, and helped me reconnect with my feminine energy. The transformation took a lot more than just these 8 habits, but these habits did and continue to have a very big impact. They're not fluffy concepts. These are practical habits that fit into real life and create real transformation. So first, let's talk about what exactly feminine energy actually is and why so many of us have wounded feminine energy. Feminine energy is your natural state of being. Flowing, receiving, creating. It's intuitive, it's cyclical and soft. It thrives on connection, beauty, and pleasure. Masculine energy, on the other hand, is about doing, achieving, and directing. It's linear. It's focused and structured. And both energies absolutely have value, but here's the problem. Our society only values masculine energy. We're rewarded for constant productivity, achievement, pushing through. We're taught that our worth comes from what we accomplish, not who we are. So most women today are operating almost entirely from their masculine energy. And this is what creates wounded feminine energy. Wounded feminine energy shows up as feeling exhausted despite your achievements, difficulty receiving help or compliments, always being in that doing mode with no time to just be, feeling disconnected from your body and your intuition, relationships that lack passion or spark, and guilt when you're not being productive. And if any of this sounds familiar, you're not alone. I've lived this way for many years and it nearly broke me. But the beautiful thing is that your feminine energy can be healed and restored. So before we dive into the habits, make sure that you're signed up for my free weekly newsletter where I share simple tips to help activate your feminine energy, live more authentically as the woman that you are inside, and tips on how to inject more passion and polarity into your relationship. You'll find the link in the description box below. Now let's get to the 8 habits that will transform your relationship with your feminine energy. The first 3 habits are like daily restoration practices that you can start implementing immediately. Habit number 1 is to prioritize one thing that brings you joy every day. And I know this sounds simple, but it's revolutionary for women who have forgotten what they actually enjoy. Your joy is not selfish, it's essential. And when you prioritize joy, you're feeding your feminine energy. And this could be as simple as listening to your favorite song or reading a few pages of a novel, taking a bubble bath without doom scrolling on your phone, or dancing around your kitchen. And the key is to just do it purely because it brings you pleasure, not because it's productive. Habit number 2 is to practice saying no to things that drain your energy. Again, simple but impactful. Your energy and your peace are precious, and protecting them is a feminine act of self-care. So start paying attention to what drains you versus what energizes you. Maybe it's saying no to that committee that you joined out of guilt, or declining social events that feel obligatory rather than joyful. Every time you say no to something that drains you, you're saying yes to your feminine energy. Habit number 3 is to spend time in nature regularly, especially if you can do it while walking. Nature is deeply healing for feminine energy because it connects you to your natural cycles and rhythms. Walking in particular is incredibly powerful for feminine energy alignment because there's just something about the rhythm of walking that helps you drop out of your head and into your body, which is so important. Even 10 minutes outside can shift your energy completely and dramatically. And I can't tell you how many times a walk has taken me from anxious and overwhelmed to calm and centered. And here's the extra credit tip. Leave your headphones at home. And I know that might sound boring, but do it. Leave your phone on silent. Sure, it's a good idea to have your phone with you for safety reasons, but put it on do not disturb. Don't look at it. Don't touch it. Allow yourself to focus only on your own thoughts and the sounds of the nature surrounding you, even if that's just the grass and the lawns around your neighborhood. I walk a lot and I don't always leave my headphones at home because it's fun to tune into an audiobook or listen to an energizing podcast, but I do go headphone free at least half the time. And when I do, I have the best walks. Now let's move on to habits 4 through 6, which are more comprehensive lifestyle shifts. And habit number 4 is to honor your natural cycles and work with your energy, not against it. Women are cyclical beings. We're not linear machines. We have natural ebbs and flows of energy throughout the month. And instead of fighting against these cycles, start working with them. Notice when you have more energy for big projects versus when you need more rest and reflection. And this might mean scheduling important meetings during your high energy weeks and planning some downtime during your low energy periods. When you honor your cycles, you're honoring your feminine nature. There is so much more to be said about syncing your life to your cycle, way more than I can go into on this video, but it's absolutely worth looking into and implementing it. Habit number 5 is to cultivate your female friendships intentionally. Women need other women. We're designed to be in community with each other, but so many of us have let our friendships slide in favor of romantic relationships or career demands or taking care of kids. So start prioritizing time with women who fill your cup. That's so key, right? The women who fill your cup, not drain it. So plan regular coffee nights, girls' nights, or weekend trips. And these connections feed your feminine soul in ways that honestly nothing else can. Habit number 6 is to create beautiful spaces that nourish your soul. Your environment directly impacts your energy, and your feminine energy thrives in beautiful, clean, clutter-free, nurturing spaces. And this does not mean that you need to spend a lot of money. It means being intentional about creating beauty in your daily life. Maybe it's fresh flowers on your table or candles in your bathroom, or simply keeping your space clean and organized. When your environment feels beautiful, you naturally drop into your feminine energy. Now for habits 7 or 8, they focus more on how you relate to others and move through the world. Habit number 7 is to practice receiving help and compliments gracefully. Feminine energy is receptive by nature, but most women have become terrible at receiving. We deflect compliments, we refuse help, and we insist on doing everything ourselves. So instead, I want you to start practicing receiving in small ways. When someone offers to help you, you say, yes, thank you, instead of I got it or blowing them off. When someone offers you a compliment, you simply say, thank you so much, instead of deflecting. And this practice alone can totally transform your relationships and your energy. Habit number 8 is probably my most favorite because it's the most impactful, and that is to slow down in every aspect of your life. Stop rushing, invite stillness and silence, take the scenic route, and savor pleasurable moments. We live in a culture that totally glorifies busy, but feminine energy cannot thrive in constant rush. So this means literally moving more slowly throughout your day, taking time to actually taste your food, driving the long way home because it's prettier, sitting in silence for a few minutes each day, creating space for stillness in your life. When you slow down, you create space for your feminine energy to emerge. You become more present, more connected to yourself, and more available for all the beautiful moments that life has to offer you and that make it meaningful. And as you begin implementing these habits, you'll start to notice profound shifts. You'll feel more connected to yourself and what you actually want out of your life. Your relationships will improve because you're no longer operating from depletion. You'll have more energy because you're working with your nature instead of against it. And you'll start to feel like yourself again, the one that you maybe lost touch with. Maybe you'll start to feel like yourself for the first time in years. So here's how to start implementing these habits without completely overwhelming yourself. First, choose 2 or 3 habits that resonate most with you. Start small. Even 5 minutes a day can make a big difference to start with. Be patient with yourself as you build these new patterns. And remember that healing your feminine energy is a journey. It's not a destination. It's not something to check off the list. Some days you'll feel deeply connected to your feminine energy, and other days you'll slip back into old patterns. And that's completely normal and all part of the process. The key is consistency, not perfection. And as someone who has lived on both sides of this transformation, I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, the life that's waiting for you on the other side, the one where you're aligned with your feminine energy, is so worth it. When you heal your wounded feminine energy, you don't just feel better, you become magnetic. You attract people and opportunities that align with your authentic self. Your relationships deepen because you're showing up as who you really are. And you finally feel at home in your own skin. If you're ready to go deeper with this work and heal your wounded feminine energy completely, I'd love to help you. In the description box below, you'll find information about how we can work together to transform your relationship with your feminine energy. And don't forget to sign up for that free weekly newsletter down below where I share more tips on living authentically as the woman that you are at your core. The truest, most authentic version of yourself. And if you liked this video, I know that you're going to like this one. And until next time, stay aligned.